Hello everybody and welcome to the ESL Guild Wars 2 Pro League. My name is Munchables and casting with me once again is Jebro. How are you doing, man?
I'm really good. Having a good day so far, and Pro League week 3. Week 3 already.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're almost halfway. 7-week season. We need to get halfway through week 4 and then we'll be precisely halfway through the season.
Someone's got to make sure they say that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try and remember. I'll make sure. Someone tweet at us next week. Make sure that we remember that. But let's have a look at what is going on. Let's take a look at our tournament format just to kick things off. Let's make sure everyone's on the same page. Here we are with our Guild Wars 2 Pro League. It is Conquest 5 versus 5. Have a map rotation. We've got points. We've got all sorts going off.
Yep, indeed. Today's map rotation as well. Battle of Kylo, Temple, and also then Forest. So we will not see a Legacy of the Foe. I know Lord rushes today, but you get to cast Battle of Kylo.
I do. I finally get to cast Battle of Kylo. I'm very excited. I'm excited to get onto Kylo and see what's going on.
A lot, guys.
Yeah, basically, I have yet to do an actual live cast of Kylo, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe it's my worst map. Who knows?
Well, at the moment, we don't know. So
Nervous
you're
now.
lucky about that. It could be best map. You know?
It could be. Could be. We'll have to see. Well, let's take a look at the prize pools for our tournament. Let's take a look at how the regular season is going to pan out and what these guys are playing for. It is going to be that $100,000 dollar prize pool, and you can see this is going to be how it's spread out for placements after the regular season.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got the whole league structure there as well. So 10K, this is not including the finals. This is entry to finals for first and second, of course, and then from third to 8th, you see the different levels of how much they can get. So even, if they're not going to the season finals, even being, between 6th and 7th or 6th and even, 8th, there's like 2K difference, which is quite important to note as well. So people want to be getting those wins, even if they're not winning against the teams we predict might be in first, second, third, fourth. There's still a big prize difference, really, especially it could be like $200 each, with difference, which can get you a bit of
and that's one of the things as well. You've got to bear in mind these prizes are spread between 5 people, so you want to be going for the big ones so that you get a good slice of the pie. But let's take a look at our grand prizes that are going to be given. I can't get my words out. Our grand prizes that are going to be
so
given
much
out.
Money, Joe.
Yeah,
Money.
My mind is boggled by the sizes of these numbers. That's the $100,000 prize pool that will be given out to first, second, third, and fourth place teams after the playoffs happen. But let's take a look at our teams. In fact, let's take a look at what is going to be going on this week, which teams are going to be facing up. Our very first matchup is going to be Rank 55 Dragons up against Car Crash. Now, on paper, how do you feel like this matchup is going to pan out?
Well, at the moment, Rank 55 are, probably one of our top, if not the top teams, just because they've beaten, last week, TCG, we saw them go 2-1 against those guys. So they're looking very strong at the moment. Car Crash are surprising us. They surprised us by coming from the qualifiers into the Pro League in the first place, and then they won last week versus Chaotic Contingency. So, it could be a surprise. It could be actually a little bit of a mix-up there. You never know. I think... Could be an upset, potentially.
Definitely
Car
potential.
Crash must be feeling a little bit happy with themselves at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, like, on paper, Rank 55 certainly look like a powerhouse. Everybody I've spoken to about it kind of says Rank 55, if not the, then one of the top teams in Europe for sure. They are 2-0 on the table currently, tied with Vermilion for that first place.
Tied with Vermilion? What is going on? Like, most people would have thought, TCG, Orange Logo. But now, we've got 2 different teams up there, and every game matters now for Orange Logo especially, and TCG. But, of course, it matters for everyone. But for those teams especially, they need to make sure they don't lose again, because at the moment, Rank 55 don't look like they're going to lose at all. Even when they replaced the player last week, and Texby came in last minute, that was it. They hadn't played with him much either. They've played with him before, but
Yeah, not a significant amount.
Yeah, exactly. But Orange Logo took in a sub as well last week, but they weren't able to get that win. So, there's big things happening for a lot of the teams.
And I think a huge thing as well this week is we have 2 teams that are 2-0. That's Vermilion and Rank 55 Dragons. We have 4 teams that are 1-1 across the board, and then 2 at the bottom, and 0-2. So this week really should be the week that kind of spreads the table a little bit, and we start to see sort of the two top teams, and then in sort of quarters almost. And
Yeah.
we'll see how these teams sort of pan out across the season and who's going to be able to be climbing to those top 4 ranks, because it's the top 4 that is absolutely crucial here. They're the guys that are going to go through to playoffs.
And and this week especially, it's again, the pre-qualified versus the qualifiers team. So similar to our first week.
Yeah, and I mean,
So that
those
itself is
games were
interesting.
pretty one-sided.
Yes,
let's be honest.
they were. So this week we could see something similar happen this week.
Yeah.
But still, we have a lot of changes as well in terms of teams. We've got Farrell from Chaotic Contingency moving over to Orange Logo. Tage isn't there anymore at the moment. And that's a massive change itself. So obviously, Farrell's position had to be changed up as well in Chaotic because only had 4. So we've got El Presidente playing for those guys as well. So, some big changes. Texby coming in for rank 55 permanently as well. And there could be other changes that, might have come in last minute.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. So
it definitely could be the case. And I think that's a crucial thing as well when you have these roster changes happening. How quickly the teams can sort of mesh together. How quickly they really become teams and not just 5 guys playing Guild Wars. And
5 independently good players playing Guild Wars 2, because there is a difference. We've seen that in the past, for sure.
Absolutely is. And we'll see who are going to be the good teams and who are going to be the great teams. But I believe it's about time that we head onto the map. The first map of each best of 3 today is going to be the Battle of Kylo. We have a quick intro to let you guys know what's going on.
In the Battle of Kylo, players will fight for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Capturing these objectives can be quite difficult at times, as the enemy team may choose to rain fiery balls of death upon you from their trebuchet. The first team to 500 points wins.
So here we are on the Battle of Kylo. Let's see who's going to be able to obliterate that clock tower as well as their enemies. It's going to be rank 55 Dragons up against Car Crash. Let's take a look at the builds that rank 55 are bringing to the table.
Indeed, we're going to see Bunker Mesmer coming out first of all in form of the Oracle. Important to note that Sentinel Amulet is being used here with power, toughness and vitality, not going for Celestial for the extra condition damage or healing power. He's just going for full-on tankiness in this build. Of course, going for Chaos, Inspiration and Chronomancer there as well. Let's just go over to the next build, Mancal. He's going to be playing a Condition Revenant, going for Viper's Amulet. Still Rune of Durability being very popular throughout a lot of these builds because of this boon duration, of course. A lot of boons that are coming out from the Oracle as well, which is going to help him. Just double checking his rune durability there as well. But yeah.
The Condi Rev as well has been becoming more and more popular the longer the Pro League has been going on. When we first got here, Condi Rev was barely seen. We'd always see the sword shield rev, where you kind of go more bursty, but the Condi Rev really seems to be ramping up in popularity.
It's true. And there's another thing which changes a lot with this build, like grabbing that stability instead of this Crystal Hibernation, which is very good for your survival, but people are going for the stab more than that. So at the moment, there's a lot of condition damage. We can remember last week, actually, there was a lot of spike damage that came off between TCG and rank 55. Part of it was the Revenant, part of it was probably the Engineer as well, who is Zan, who we're going to go over towards now as well. And this Inventions Alchemy Scrapper line, very survivable indeed. There's a lot of protection that comes out through 2 of the traits, as well as extra healing, passive movement speed as well. So it's a great build, which allows them to even go to Marauder's Amulet to pick up some extra damage there, as well as going for that durability rune as well. Levin, obviously, we've heard from Levin a couple of times in the last week. He's going to be playing Condi Rev as well, so going for that Viper's Amulet, again with the Rune of Durability, and we've seen this build a lot played in the Pro League currently. And then finally, we're going to go over to Texby, who is solidly playing on the Elementalist at the moment, but this week going for Staff instead. And this is going to be great use for, you going for the Staff instead allows you to play off point a lot, because you've got more range, you've got more ranged abilities, more targeted abilities that you can put on the point and such. So you can heal off point, damage off point, you can support in a better way as well. And on this map especially, you can use the wall in the Earth achievement, which is really, really going to help. Don't forget, we've got all these overloads which are really going to assist in the team survival, especially protection in Earth, which is what we see right now. And he's going to be going with Earth, Water, and of course for Tempest, going for Cleansing Water, because we've got so many conditions coming out at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, exactly is what we were saying just a minute ago. These condition builds are so popular. Well, let's take a look at what the builds Car Crashed are going to be coming to the table with. They have both a Necro and a Revenant, so could be a lot of Condis on their side too.
Yep, Nagnag's going to be playing this Revenant, of course, and we see again he's going to be Condi Rev. He's going to be going for some similar traits here as well, and it looks like he's going to be going for the same rune and also see for the same amulets as well. So let's go over to Super, see if anything's changing up for NG. One thing that's really important to note about NG as well, Sneak Gyro, really, really good for engaging and more so disengaging in your survivability. Very, very important, of course.
Also, for map mobility, like you can do a rotation on the map without being spotted out, which can be absolutely massive when it comes to like decapping points or capping a point, or even just finding yourself somewhere on the map with a man advantage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just because you can see the bot doesn't mean you can see them on the map, that's a good point. You know, you can't see them on the map until they're obviously seen. But yeah, we're going to see our first Druid. Just to note, we haven't got Druid over on 55. He's going to be playing Beast Mastery, Wilderness Survival, and Druid, so quite a lot of support coming out from this build. Of course, going into Celestial Avatar, being very supportive there, as well as going for Signet of Renewal there. So, you know, again, with the Condis, that's really going to help in terms of his Condi, that replacing Signet of Stone, of course, where the burst damage came in before. And then we're going to go again for another Bunker Mesmer as well. But he's going for Celestial with durability and going for Inspiration Chaos and for Chronomancer. Important ability to be aware of is the Well of Precognition, of course, being very, very useful with the blur and the stability there. We can see a lot of alacrity and cooldown reductions coming out, as well as a lot of boon and team support from that build. And then we've got Posey, of course, playing on the Necro, going for a Condi, really, as he is going for Celestial, so he's going to be a little bit more tanky, and then the Superior Rune of Aristocracy, so he can build up his might stacks, of course, through his Signets, but still get some Condi damage. So that's a nice rune for the extra might stacking damage there.
Absolutely, and there we go. That is going to be our final player. All 10 builds locked in, and we should be able to get everything underway shortly for you guys and be able to kick off the first game of the third week here in the Pro League. I can't believe we're already on the third week. It feels like it's only just begun.
I'm not going to start breaking out into song, because that's a Christmas song, I think. It's not quite Christmas yet. So I apologise.
Not quite.
It's a bit, well, not yet, not yet.
It's not far off.
When the Christmas ties come out, Joe.
I'm pretty excited already. Next week is the Christmas Guild Wars stream, I think, because we have a break for Christmas beyond that. That's so definitely could be the case. But here we are. The game is about to begin, as you see on your screen here. Rank 55 Dragons up against Car Crash. The 10-second timer is counting down, and we'll see who is going to be able to take this very first map. My very first time casting this map as well, as we head onto Battle of Kylo. And both of the teams are going to be charging to those nodes as quickly as possible.
We are going to see at the moment, sorry, tiny bit of lag there as we go back into the game. Oracle jumps over towards the mansion at the moment in a 1v1 between CanScout and himself, which means the rest of the team members, or Zan is on the side. They don't want to have the Mesmer in a 1v1 fight here for sure. So we've got this 2v2 happening currently over on this side of the map.
Yeah, we do indeed. It's just going to be pretty much even so far, but we do see the cap has come out from rank 55 on the windmill, so they are going to be slowly but surely stacking up points while these fights go on. Zan is actually taking a whole lot of damage, but on the other side, Illusion of Sam might just be going down, and he will do so. Don't know if the res is going to be available for him. Doesn't look like it, as he found himself in a losing 1v1. That's going to be a 2-node advantage now for rank 55.
Yeah, indeed. Let's go over towards Posey at the moment as well. He's actually okay. We're normally seeing the Necros kind of having a lot of issues in this game, but he's actually doing fine at the moment. Super is really being targeted hard as well on the map. It looks like we've had a DC as well from him at the moment. So we're probably going to see a restart in this game quite early on, unfortunately.
Yeah, because the DC was in the first 2 minutes of the game, we are going to have this one restarted. We'll be able to get some nice fair matches going for you guys. Unfortunately, it's not just the cars that are crashing today, it's also the computers. So we'll be able to get everything underway once again very shortly for you guys. But I mean, it's hard to say whether that was such a convincing start there for rank 55 because of the DC. I didn't see the guy DC, so I don't know how how far in it was when they DC'd. So it's kind of hard to say whether rank 55 went with a really convincing start anyway, or whether it was because it was a 4v5.
Yeah, literally, as I said, it is when it happened.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it looked like he was having a couple of issues. I saw on the map he was, just lagging a little bit there.
Yeah.
So, it could really, obviously, they don't get many chances for that to happen and to change that.
One restart.
So, he's got to sort out those connection problems quite quickly. And sometimes, it can really, really, mess up your day, obviously.
Double router.
To play, so double routing, play wirelessly as well, It's all these things that can really help you.
You should, in
Sarcastic,
my opinion, you should never ever play wirelessly.
Please,
that is just asking for
that was
trouble.
Definitely sarcasm. I hope, please don't take that advice. It's just a joke.
I feel like if you are going to take that advice, you're pretty much asking to lose out on games.
Pretty much.
But yeah, we'll hopefully be able to get this game.
I know he's definitely not doing that.
Super's
been in some really, high pressure situations. He's definitely playing wired, but at the moment, just needs to have a good connection, and we'll get back to the game as soon as we possibly.
Maybe his internet's down at home. Maybe he's playing at his nan's or something. He's on his laptop using the wireless. Could happen. I don't know. I've not asked him, but it could be a situation that's occurring. Or could be a campfire or something.
She needs to sort out her internet connection.
Playing
if you're going to go around your nan's house, make sure you sort that out.
It could be playing off 3G on his phone. Tethered it. You never know with these guys. You never know.
Some of these guys are at uni, that could be an issue. You never know. You never know.
Or maybe he just had a DC.
Yeah, all that.
Maybe that's the case.
The reason we're kind of blabbering on, guys, is because we're waiting to just get back into game and to come back into the Guild Wars 2, of course. But, actually, Kylo is one of the maps which teams probably don't get to practice a lot unless they're scrimming, really. Because people don't tend to actually, pick this when they go into, maybe league systems. So, obviously these guys are scrimming. That's what they want to do. They're scrimming the other teams in the league. And I just wonder how much of this map they've actually played.
I mean, as well, they know the map rotation. So they've known that they weren't realistically going to be on Kylo, or at least if they were, it was only going to be third map.
Yeah.
But maybe in advance of this week, having known that Kylo was going to be the first map they were going to be playing Kylo, maybe they've scrimmed on this map in advance just to prepare for this week's games. It wouldn't surprise me if that was the case for sure.
I know that some teams are a little bit stronger on this map as well. Like, you've got Mesmers, but we've got... I mean, one thing that's really good about this map as well to think about is the mobility-wise. We used to have Thieves that used to be able to just jump right through Clock Tower, just port up using the short bow or whatever portability they wanted to, and just literally just going straight through the Clock Tower to avoid so much mess. So... we haven't got that anymore, but we do have Ellie's. We've got a Necro, can flesh worm up to the top. We've got Mesmers as well that can blink up top, phase retreat, whatever you want to call it. And you've got, Revenants now as well with Assassin Stance. They can jump into mid pretty easily from the bottom ground level. And if we have Dragon Hunters again, which we haven't had for a long time.
Yeah, that was actually the next thing I was going to touch on is, again, no Dragon Hunters going to be on the lineups at all for these guys. So really seems to have just fallen out of flavor. I mean, could it be sort of described that it was just flavor of the month, just something like new build, we want to try this out, but then the more people have played it, kind of everyone seems to have just gone off the idea?
Well, we've got a lot more from this bursty kind of power meta. We've still got that with the Marauder, with the Engineer, of course. We've got that a bit less now because obviously like you say, Dragon Hunter, Zerka's not being played on, or Marauder's being played on Rev anymore. So we're going more condition heavy, Celestial Bunker heavy now as well. So, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Because the Guardian can't really... If he's in the 1v1, it's very tough for him to sometimes survive that, of course, unless he can get all his traps off and whatnot. But, Pro League players, that's not going to happen as much. So, people feel Dragon Hunter more in the lower tiers and probably in PvP queues than they do anywhere else. NA, funnily enough...
Just great for pub stomping.
Pretty much. Pretty much. NA, interestingly enough, we spoke to Zeus this week on our On Point show with myself and Hurix. And he was phenomenal in the game versus the Abjured on Forest.
Yeah.
But still there were points in time where you felt I'm not sure about this build. It's quite slow. Okay, he's got his ports from time to time.
Yeah.
And he's very good in some situations, but not generally in the whole game. Not at this level, apparently. But it worked for them in one because they managed to take a game off the Abjured guys.
Yeah.
They managed to take one game off the Abjured team busy.
It's definitely
good
not
stuff.
something to be sort of sniffed at, you know, like, because that is a difficult team to be able to take games.
Oh, God,
off.
yeah.
They are so good.
You could probably count them on one hand, stream-wise.
What? How many games they've lost?
Yeah,
Ever.
yeah.
Yeah, quite
Well,
possibly.
other than World Tournament Series, anyway.
I feel like if you manage to get to Worlds and you don't lose a single game, then you're doing something incredibly right.
Yeah.
But, ladies and gentlemen, we have our 10 players back on the map, and we're going to be able to get this game back underway. It is going to be Rank 55 Dragons versus Car Crash. Let's see who is going to be able to take the Battle of Kylo. Everybody going to be charging. I believe the opener has to be the same from both of the teams after the restart, so should see the same thing coming out from the both of them. We'll see how this one pans out once again, and we'll see whether Rank 55 are able to take such an early advantage this time.
They are going to be going for the same move as well. Oracle will be moving over towards this side of the map. Let's have a look at Zan. He's moving in a little bit slow, but obviously, you know, Oracle could pull up, and there's going to be more damage pressure onto Zan. They actually want to stop him moving before he gets into the node, which is a very, very good move from him. He uses that slick shoot so well to pick some damage up onto Posey, and to really, actually, he's on the chase now onto him, and we're going to see both Bunk and Mesmers in a position in a 1v1. They've been left in that position now, and most of the fighting is actually happening towards this midpoint as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a 1v1 for quite a while, but everybody finally arriving. The point... No, it did get captured. It did get captured. Just the overlay didn't quite update itself. But Rank 55 managed to capture the clock tower here, and they're going to be able to continue to contest this. So Car Crashed, slowly but surely, will start to tick down in points. 11 going to be able to use that crystalline shell to just keep himself alive a little bit longer. That Revenant is quite a difficult target to focus down, generally speaking, but
yeah,
might be able to go down anyway, just managing to dodge some of that damage there.
Yeah, Assassin's Stance great for avoiding a lot of that damage as well as engaging here as well. And Posey is caught dropping quite low himself as we go into his position. He has a look. Let's have a look. Trying to get some off. He needs to get into Reaper Shout. He does get that off in the end. And that's going to be more for his survival here as he does get Levin right on the backside of him. And when that Reaper Shard runs out, he's going to be a little bit wrecked here indeed. But he's doing a great job actually versus Levin at the moment. Keeping him still, using his shouts as well, that elite shout to make sure, and also the chill obviously, to make sure he's going to be stopped from his momentum of taking him down the end. So Posey does a great job. I think he might actually go down if he risks this even more. He's done a fantastic job versus Levin.
He's taking on Levin. Levin is going to be able to get healed up a little bit though, so don't know if he's going to quite be able to finish off that target, but Can Scout goes down over at the windmill, and I don't know if anyone's going to be able to res. Super's going to give it his best shot, and he actually is going to be able to save his teammate, but Super is not feeling too healthy himself. He might just be focused down here, but this 1v1, or this 2v2 is so close. Health bars getting incredibly low on both sides. Can Scout going to be trying to get the res onto Super. I don't know if he's going to be able to, whether he's overextended for this one, trying to get that health bar back up, but I don't think he's going to be... Nag arrives though. Super is going to get back on his feet, and that's going to be Can Scout back to half HP as well. In the meantime, Zan might just be going down, manages to sustain a little bit longer though, and actually this windmill fight is going on a lot longer than I was expecting.
Yeah, this is big for Car Crash at the moment. Can Scout is very low. If they can get him down before he gets into Celestial Avatar, that'd be brilliant. And he is in Celestial Avatar at the moment, my bad. But obviously they need to make sure I keep him down. So he's going to try and use his heal here, and he used to use that combination of the blast. There we go. He uses the wall and the blast to make sure he gets that in the end. And actually Zan almost goes down, but we are going to see indeed that he gets rezzed up, and the quickness down comes out from Levin there in that assassin stance for them to start to see the end of this fight occurring here over on this side of the point. Posey tries to disengage here. He needs to get away. So does Nag as well. They're going to lose the windmill. Are they going to lose midpoint? Midpoint still contested, and obviously this 1v1 between the Mesmers.
I don't think that's ever going to end.
No. I mean, the reason that fight ended, it's not ended completely, but over towards this windmill has gone a little bit quicker, is because these Mesmers are not involved. You know, no quickness rezzing really coming out, other than, you know, if the Revs are popping those. It's still got infused light coming out from the Revenants, but now Nag is really trying to hold it 1v2 for as long as possible, just so they don't get so many point advantage. But we've got downstates mid and over on the windmill now.
Yeah, well played by Nag to hold it for so long on his own, but in a 2 versus 1, not really going to be able to keep that going. Him and Super both go down, and that is going to mean that the windmill and potentially the clock tower as well will be captured by Rank 55. I think the clock tower has been contested though, so not going to be able to get that one quite for free, and the 2v2 is going to continue to happen. And most of this game so far seems to have been sort of 2v2 matchups across the map.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, mids. Now, what Car Crash have done, which is really, really good, they actually moved their Mesmer, Sam, over towards the mid and put him more of a team fight situation. They put Can Scout, who can 1v1 a little bit better now, you know, maybe even get the kill after a while in this situation versus the Mesmer. But now we've actually seen the Mesmer move out, and we've got the Engineer here as well. So both Mesmers have flipped out, both going, not flipped out, gone crazy, but they've gone over towards the midpoint now. Yeah, well, all the mind powers, you know, it's got to happen at some point. But they're being very supportive over on this point now, and we are going to see those guys engaged in the team fight. So now this is where we're going to see the team fighting capability of both teams really coming out with their maximum support.
Yeah, this fight right here would be pretty much my definition of anarchy. Just so many skills and animations kicking off right now. We are going to be just getting this fight underway, and it is, I mean, if we take a look at the score, despite how close this game has felt so far, rank 55 managing to pull ahead 114 to 28 so far. They're definitely doing a fantastic job, but Posey might just be in a little bit of trouble. He's running out of life force right now, and he is going to be dropped into that down state. I don't know, in fact, he goes down immediately. Super as well, incredibly low. And in fact, across the scoreboard, all of these blue health bars starting to really feel the pressure.
Yeah, look at the point score as well. I mean, Car Crash has so much problems, so many problems in trying to get points on the map at the moment. Rotations-wise, I feel like 55 are a little bit ahead at the moment, and that's what it feels like at the moment, how important rotations are really in this meta at the moment, because the games are a lot slower. The kills aren't really coming out as fast because of the amount of support that comes out from the Mesmers and whatnot. So the points being contested at the moment is good for both. Pardon me, good for both teams currently. We do see one cap coming in over on a windmill, and you'll see that it's going to be very difficult for people to lose nodes. So you're going to see people trying to keep those caps for as long as possible.
Okay, so, I mean, so far, Windmill now won out there. The 1v1 did go in favor of rank 55. We are going to see just still this midpoint completely contested, 2v2s, 3v3s. I mean, the numbers keep differentiating, but overall, neither team managing to make too much of a statement quite in the middle of this map. However, look at all the condis that are starting to stack up on the rank 55 lineup. They need to start to get some of those cleansing waters out from Texby.
Yeah, I mean, we're not doing a bad job, actually.
Yeah, I mean, as I said that immediately, they all quiet.
Some Condi cleanse comes out on the other side of the map. So at the moment, it's still very sustained. And the problem with this map that they're going to have, Time Warp especially, is something to note, which I didn't pick up before from Sam, actually, is being used on this map. And he's been able to get it back as well, using that continuous split, of course, as well, over on this midpoint as well. So it's going to be good for really trying to get fights ended quite quickly, because Gravity Well is great for control, but the thing is you haven't got that potential to pick up the extra damage. You're going to see the res potential coming out for the teams. Oh, Naknak goes down in the end, as well as Illusion of Sam. And unfortunately, we are going to see Car Crash probably fail in this fight over on this midpoint, as they seem to be doing well around the map. 1v1 is still happening over on this mansion point as well, and no one has gone for the decap over on this windmill point.
No, Super as well, slowly but surely losing his HP bar with the 2 kills. You would think that there was a massive advantage in this middle of the map, and they finally are going to be able to take down Super. Should be able to get that execute, and that is going to be the midpoint as well, going over towards rank 55. So now Car Crashed in a 2 nodes to 1 situation. They need to try and find some pressure somewhere else on the map right now. Rank 55 pushing very aggressively towards the mansion.
Yeah, I mean, indeed, they're forcing them to fight on this point. On the cap they have, we're going to see reses coming out. Now, rank 55 needs to be careful that they don't overextend here and get punished, because if they start to lose bodies, they could start to see a push towards a mid, which they could be very successful in. But as long as rank 55 are keeping them on this side of the map, that's really, really great for them, because this map has not got many points to be gained, only through caps. Treb has got nothing to do with their cap points, the points coming across for them. And actually, Texby, in the end, does die to those conditions. We really need to see a res coming out from Levin. We are going to see the Vapor Form coming out. He's going to move to warn people. He's going to be able to get the quickness res potentially here. Oh, that's a great res! Vapor Form as well. Maybe they can switch this round and actually get some kills here. This is great stuff, but decap over on the midpoint as well.
Yeah, Super managed to sneak over towards that midpoint, got the decap for himself. He's going to be contested, but actually, this might be Texby going down here, which is bad news for rank 55, because he's the one clearing all of those condis. He's going to be able to get back straight up onto his feet, though, the second I say it. And they are going to, I mean, he's still being focused on down. Definitely the point that they're trying to bully here. They're trying to finish off this kill, but so
Vapor
far the
Form.
Vapor Form going all the way over
Again?
towards his teammates. The res comes out. Beautiful play coming out from rank 55.
This is what I'm saying, man. If the Mesmers weren't here, this would not be happening right now. I mean, we've got some quickness coming out from the team, other than just the Mesmers, of course, but that's great support for the team and making sure those cooldowns are available to save Texby. But you can see how much the condition pressure is awful for the Elementalist here, and Texby has to just disengage a little bit to make sure he's going to be safe. But they're still hanging out. They're hanging around this point. They've still got the map contested in different places as well. Oracle goes to mid to make sure that isn't going to be decapped by Nagnag there as well. But we've still got this windmill fight again where things are going to be contested up.
Yeah, they absolutely are, and it feels like the fights just keep swapping which end of the map they're at. Now we're going to go over to Windmill, and there's going to be Super and CanScout trying to capture this point. They keep on getting the knockbacks to just get a couple of seconds on the point, so it is slowly but surely starting to get capped towards Car Crash, but they aren't really able to finish off their opponents and really take this control.
Yeah, look at Super. He's getting really pressured by the condition damage here as well, and that Scrapper trait ain't saving him for nothing, but the person who is saving him is CanScout there, as he removes a lot of conditions through those seeds, of course, which are really, really great on the glyphs, and he can remove a ton of conditions. Super still struggling here. Needs to make sure he doesn't get a little tiny bit of damage, and he does have Gyro on here. If he does actually disengage and doesn't do any damage, he could survive this, but he's got his heal coming up soon, so he can remove a couple of conditions. He should be okay for a moment, especially as CanScout comes into Celestial Avatar, but Super can't do as much damage as he would like
Super's
to.
down. Nagnag's looking for the res, though. I don't think he's got the healing to do it. Super is going to get executed finally, and now it's going to be rank 55 once again. I feel like I've said this 100 times this game, winning out in this fight. CanScout having to try and disengage. Nagnag down as well. CanScout falls into the down state, and it is going to be a 3-man wipe coming out from rank 55.
This is brilliant stuff from the guys at the moment. You can actually see how like I said before, how quickly these fights end when the Mesmers aren't involved. And now the Mesmers are actually, both teams are doing good at keeping the Mesmers out of the team fights. Obviously, that's up to the team members as well themselves. But now 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. It's not going to happen for Car Crash, really, to be fair, in this game. They can't come back quickly enough. They're not able to get any control on the map. Rotation-wise at the moment, feels like, obviously, rank 55 able to get in those positions a bit quicker, hold them and win some of their matchups a little bit easier, getting a lot more down pressure. And obviously we've got difference in these teams as well. We do see, the Necro being played on Car Crash, and we do see, we do see Illusion Sam going down again there, unfortunately for him. And that probably is going to be the extra nail in the coffin for Car Crash in this series.
Yeah, just about, I think.
Or game, not series.
Yeah, it is obviously only the first game in a best of 3 here. This is, my first game of Kylo as well. And it looks like it is going to go to full time here. So, well played so far by Car Crash. At least they didn't just sort of lose 500 points to whatever. They have managed to pretty much fully time this one out, or at least so far, because there's still 2 minutes and 30 seconds in the game, and they have been 2 capped on right now. And rank 55, it's not looking like that's enough for them right now, because they're trying to go for the mansion as well.
Yeah, at the moment they need to try and work out their matchups, who they're going to pit up against each other, because the opposite team have 2 Condi revs, and Engineer is we've still got less. I'm saying we because I'm playing Engineer as a man. But we still feel the Condi pressure, just because we've got some of that extra duration negativity over in Scrapper doesn't mean we don't feel them still. And you can see, different players going down to these conditions. We're not able to see the amount of cleansing. And it really feels like this is where the Elementalist is playing such a key role as well. Even though he's having trouble himself with some of those conditions, he's able to clear them from his team at the very least. So, in some of those fights where we've got the Necro, who's only playing Celestials, then they're not as intense potentially. We're having some issues for the blue team in trying to get rid of those conditions and actually trying to survive these fights.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is going to be the 3 cap finally coming out here for rank 55 Dragons. There's just 1 minute and 30 seconds
Might be able to get the win,
on the clock. I'm wondering whether it's going to time out or whether it's going to go over in points. I feel like if it does go over in points, this is just rank 55, making sure that I eat my words here. CanScout is going to go down, and that is just going to be fuel for the fire here for rank 55 Dragons. And in fact, I don't think the timer is going to run out. I think it is going to be a matter of points here. A little bit of a battle going on in the mid, but that's going to be a 2v1 now. And Super going to run away with his tail between his legs from that one. Oracle just trying to chase him on down. Should be able to finish him off if he can keep up.
Yeah, that's it indeed. But yeah, game actually, and we are going to see a hit
There it is.
500 points with the free cap to rank 55. Dragons, of course. And congrats to them in the first game, of course, but it's not over yet.
No.
It's not over indeed.
It's definitely not over just yet. That is, I mean, rank 55 still 2-0 on the scoreboard for the whole season.
Yep.
They've now got another win under their belts. We'll see if they can turn this into a third win of the season in the third week of the season. We'll find out on this next map. The next map, it is going to be Temple of the Silent Storm. Now, we saw Temple last week. I believe it was our first map last week. It was either our first or second map last week.
I think it was our first, yeah. Actually.
I think it was first. But we are going to be seeing Temple coming out anyway, so I'll be interested to see how this map pans out with sort of... I feel like Mesmers are just such an important tool on this map, and how well these guys use the Mesmers, whether they opt to go with Portal as well, because being able to get around the map on this map specifically can be absolutely crucial.
It could be something especially that Car Crash choose to actually use in this map, especially just because to give them that extra edge on the terms of their rotations, possibly. What is going to be big for the really Car Crash in this game, especially, is going to be, do they fight for buffs or do they fight for caps? What do they do? Because that choice is really going to make or break the game for them.
Yeah.
Because this is a map where they can really use that map mechanic to their advantage. They're very good at that as well sometimes. So hopefully for them, they might be able to pull something out of the bag. We'll see a third map. But otherwise, they really need to try and use that mechanic well today to make sure that they don't get defeated here in this game.
Yeah, that's going to be the question. Are they going to be defeated? Is it going to be rank 55 taking a second game? And I don't believe rank 55 have actually lost a game yet in the Pro League. I think both of their, or all of their victories have been 2-0 so far. So Car Crashed. Am I?
TCG, they took a game off.
Oh, did they? They did, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it
Eat my
felt
own words
like
again.
they were undefeated.
Eat my own words yet again.
I think maybe, I mean, it feels like that way, because of the way they're playing at the moment. They were pretty dominant in that last map, if we're honest. And they played extremely well versus TCG last week. So, it's possible we could see a 2-0 tonight, which, I think is what you're really talking about as well.
Well, I feel like as well, one thing for TCG is the fact that they've already been up against rank 55 Dragons is fantastic for them in the long run. Like, each team only plays each other one best of 3 for the entire season until playoffs, until we get into those final 4 teams. TCG have already played against what a lot of people are calling the strongest team in Europe. So from this point on, in theory, if they already took a game off rank 55, it's pretty much smooth sailing.
You'd hope so. You'd think so. But we can never predict anything fully, and I think we've seen how unpredictable things can really be actually at the moment. We could even see some of the lower teams take something off of Orange Logo or TCG again, or even rank 55. So yeah, I mean, whereas I would have put those series around the other way last week, say Orange Logo maybe beating Vermilion or TCG beating rank 55, everything's kind of flipped up on its head.
Yeah, it has.
It's interesting.
It has a little bit, yeah. And I mean, we'll see how this one pans out as we get further into the season. But let's take a look at the map. Let's start to go through the builds. The map is going to be Temple of the Silent Storm. We have a quick intro for you guys, so let's take a look.
Victory is never assured in the Temple of the Silent Storm. In this conquest map, players will fight for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Awareness is key, as powerful meditation points will spawn around the map at various intervals and grant powerful bonuses to the team that claims them. Stillness will grant your team double points for each capture point owned. Tranquility will grant your team control of all 3 capture points. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are on the Temple of the Silent Storm, rank 55 Dragons, 1-0 up in this series against Car Crash. Let's take a look at the builds we're going to be running with. Actually, before we go into the builds, we should mention that Car Crash have had to sub a player out here. I believe they've replaced someone with Zapdos. I believe it was Posey.
Yeah, Blackjack's come in. Yeah, the Necro's having... I think this is just a comp change, kind of sub change, because I feel like Necros are having problems at the moment. I really do. But Posey wasn't really showing that in the last game, actually. He was doing quite well, but I don't think he was able to get around the map or where he wanted to be in that last game of this series. So it'd be interesting to see we can just cover Blackjack very quickly as well. And what he's going for here is Nullfield. So of course, Curing conditions is going to be something very beneficial, and I feel like Nullfield could be something which we see a little bit more in the future because it does rip boons, and boons is something, you know, and we've got quickness and whatnot coming out as well. Could be very useful in ripping that quickness to make sure they're not able to get those reses, as long as, you know, there isn't a ton of extra boons coming out in the right order, and he rips those boons off, of course. We're going to start this game as well between rank 55 Dragons and Car Crash. 1-0 to them already. In Temple of the Sunstorm.
We are indeed, and we see the game has begun. Rank 55 versus Car Crash, and they're going to be charging to those points to contest immediately. And already we're going to see these 1v1s starting to kick off. Blackjack on the point, but immediately Levin arrives to make sure that that cap can't happen for free.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, he's going to need some. We need to have someone with them because they've only got one Mesmer on the opposite team as well. They want to put the Mesmer in more of a team or 2v2 situation here as well. So they want to get the kills here very quickly. Good thing for Car Crash here as well is because they want to bunker on so many different points. They've gone for more bunkability here, which means, whoa, Blackjack goes very low here on the other side of the map. He's going to drop very, very quickly. Nag, is he going to be able to get the rest here? We're not going to see that coming out, and actually has to pull off his shield ability to make sure he's going to be able to be defensive here. So he has it indeed for the future, and now we are going to see this 2v3 involved over on this side of the map.
Yeah, so very, very early kill coming out for rank 55, and I mean, it's obviously given them that 5-point advantage. It could be the game breaker, but we'll have to see. I really feel like the fact that they got the early kill is the most important part of that one. But again, even with that early kill, they haven't managed to grab a cap for themselves just yet. And actually, Levin starting to be focused down a little bit. But across both sides, health bar seems to be fine. And I mean, yeah, Nag is in a bit of trouble. Look how many boons he's got off.
Yeah, well, we've got the Mesmer back, you know, and he's come in and really trying to do well supporting him. But because Nag had so much pressure on him, now he's trying to disengage. He gets back into his shield 5 to make sure he can defend a lot of that damage which is coming into him, and he's going to be back up to about half HP, but needs to be very, very careful in the remainder of this fight. Everything is hinching on this side of the map at the moment because once someone goes down again, maybe 55 are going to move someone out. But it feels like if the Mesmer respawns, Nag and Super did such a good job as sustaining here, but still, you know, they're on the wrong side of this because they had to sustain for so long. But it feels like they're still surviving. Nag running away a bit really on the point, if that makes some sense. He's very, very defensive to make sure no damage comes onto him. He's almost back to full health here, and it feels like this fight's going to be very sustained. But as I see that, Nag does go down quite low as a little bit of damage comes onto Blackjack, which stops him from defending his teammates there. So good job from 55 at changing their attention just for a moment to make sure some pressure comes out to him. But Levin goes then to the downstate here as well. Are we going to see this res coming out from Mesmer? Yes, indeed. And Levin is back up. And 2.5 minutes into the game, we only have 5 points on the board with nothing coming out across the map, really, other than that single kill on Blackjack.
Yeah, this has been such close fights across the board. We're almost 3 minutes into the game, and as you say, only 5 points. Nag keeps on. It seems to be like Nag and Oracle. Oh, Oracle about to go down. The boons are going to keep him alive, though. He's so close. Look at the health bars. Oracle goes down. Everybody else from rank 55 as well in so much trouble. Oracle so close to getting res, but they've not quite been. In fact, no, they have managed to get him back onto his feet there. So rank 55 doing a good job. Nag as well, gonna get res, but Super incredibly low, as is Blackjack. All of the health bars are dropping right now for Car Crash. They've managed to get Nag down. The execute comes out. They're not going to be able to get the res here, and this could be rank 55 taking the fight.
They could be indeed, and this is awful for Car Crash because this is going to mean they can roll right across the map after this fight potentially as well. And they grab 15 points, which at the moment is massive because they get the 15 points, they get the kill, and they're going to be able to get stillness. They're not going to have anyone. No one's going to be able to contest this at the moment. Although they do get the respawns, and look, Nag gets there just in time and ports onto the Oracle there, and he's going to want to make sure that no one gets that cap because, you know, even one cap at the moment is going to be massive in terms of getting a bit of a lead at all. And really, that's how important stillness and tranquility are going to be in this map.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially when all of the nodes have been so contested up until this point, especially that tranquility buff can just really flip the game on its head. If you can just take control of the entire map, and I mean as well that the double caps essentially is not exactly something that would go amiss. We are going to see Zan in a little bit of trouble. He's starting to get quite low. He's going to have that bleed on him, but I think he's going to be just about okay for a little while. Still going to be able to dodge around a little bit. Those engineers pretty difficult to take down.
He's going to be absolutely fine for now. He can tank quite well in this build. He's got some blocks. He's got the elixirs to remove some of those conditions. He's not really pressurized heavily at the moment, and those boons are going to start helping him out, as well as his heal, which comes back up very, very shortly. He's still got gyro as well, so he can disengage quite easily from this fight. Illusion of Sam is having a few issues over towards this stillness buff though, as he goes quite low himself, but he should be okay for a little bit of time here as he puts down that Chaos Storm. Just putting a little bit of distance between himself, but still 2 side caps as well at the moment. Feels like, yeah, Car Crash could probably break off from a fight, just pull out one of the damage dealers, try and go for the decap, which is what Super's trying to do, but he's been picked up here by Mancow as well. And I wouldn't want to be in a 1v1 with this man, even though he is quite low on HP here, because he's won a lot of them last week, but Super's doing a great job. And actually, we are going to see that hibernation coming out from Mancow, and he gets some good defense. Decap comes out, and Super pushes him away. He wants to make sure he keeps some kind of pressure, but he can't do it, because he hasn't really got any long-range abilities, which is what's quite good about the Rev or on other classes. They can kite away from the point, stay away, and they can rejuvenate themselves quite well.
Yeah, they absolutely can. And I mean, that's one of the things I really love about this game as well. If you can leave combat for a while, you are going to regenerate your HP. So you are going to be able to sort of kite back and then re-enter a fight later on. But we do see a bit of it. I mean, the 2v2 down in mid has been happening for quite some time, and neither team seems to be making too much leeway, or as I say that, actually, Levin going to be forced into that Crystal Hibernation. Should be just about okay, though. Nagnag as well, starting to feel that pressure, and actually gets dropped down. He was so close to full HP when that started. The res is going to be able to come out, though. He is going to be able to get back on his feet, and it's going to be Levin who's quite low. Can Scout as well, being focused on down, but everybody getting so low, they're managing to escape. But as I say that, Levin goes down. The res immediately comes out from his team, though. And again, just this fight turning into chaos as it's a 3 versus 3.
Yeah, look at that. And as soon as they get the res, look, they're back on the pressure as well. Mancow's still in this 1v1 with Super. Super's doing a great job in this 1v1 at the moment versus Mancow. But Mancow as well is keeping it held at the moment. Tranquility is up. Are we going to see anyone coming down for this? We are indeed. And this is where Car Crash feel like they're probably going to be able to get something back in this game. And without it, they probably won't be able to win this game or go into a third game in this series. Now we're going to see Kanscout grabbing the first cap, but we are going to see mid-cap being capped there as well. So many caps. Oracle moving over towards the altar, even potentially thinking that he might be able to just get on node. And that was, you know, not too wishful thinking, because he almost got there actually. And that would have been very clutch if he got onto the node before it was capped. Unfortunately, timing was a thing. And now we're going to see down at the bottom just this 1v1 between Nagnag, and Zan. But we've seen that obviously the NG versus the Rev over on the other side of the map, in the end, might actually go to Mancow, who was low on HP when he came over. But we're going to see Sam coming over towards this point, and some of the red team members as well.
Yeah, so suddenly this 1v1 is not going to be the same. It is going to be 2 versus 2, and we'll see who's going to be able to win out that little team fight. Nagnag starting to get incredibly low. I can't quite see. Oh, there he is. He's in that 1 versus 1. We'll see if Zan is going to be able to finish him off. He's trying to kite as much as he possibly can. Only 5k HP less. Doing a good job, though, to just kite this one away.
Yeah, he did a good job interrupting Zan there and stopping his momentum, actually getting out of that thunderclap as well and putting that shielding out, which gives him a hibernation. Is a good description of that ability. Means he can rejuvenate himself quite well. We've seen the decap happening over here as the Oracle gets past Kanscout, and that's a big move really for the comeback potential of Car Crash, because any node is so precious at the moment, like gold or like get gems as well. You want to make sure you're keeping on to that so you can get somewhere in the future. And we're not talking about skins here, we're talking about caps in this Guild Wars 2 PvP match, which at the moment is being won by rank 55 Dragons. I don't think we're going to see Tranquility taken anytime soon. If it does, it looks like it's going to be taken by rank 55.
It absolutely does, and this is really bad news for Car Crash right now. They're 1 cap down, they're over 100 points down, and so far in the season, they're 1-1. If they lose this game, they are going to be moving on 1 and 2. They're going to be in the lower half of the scoreboard, which is not where they want to be. Mancow, though, is very potentially going to be going down. He does drop into down state, but the res might just be there. Blackjack trying to finish him off, but he will do so. So the res can't come out from Levin, who might just share his teammate's fate right now as he's found himself in a 2 versus 1. The decap will come out, and this could be exactly what Car Crash needs to get in the game.
This is important now. If they can get the kill on Levin, they need to push this kill. This kill is going to be what brings them back into the map if it happens. But Mancow's ready, and Super needs to be very careful here, because if he dies, they're going to lose any kind of momentum and the advantage they have. Unfortunately, they didn't get the kill. Now, what I was talking about there was if Levin had gone down, we would have seen 4 men on the map for rank 55, which means we could have seen a push for Tranquility and we could have seen a push for Stillness. But this is actually going to be taken by Levin with not really any contention, and that's the Mesmer going for that, and he's not really got a fast ability to get onto him, and I don't think Blackjack had Blink. He didn't, so because he's got Nullfield, and if he'd had Blink there, he would have been able to interrupt that cast, but he couldn't, of course, because they needed to remove so many conditions on this map.
Absolutely, and now
Still got mid-cap though.
Nag actually getting incredibly low. This could be Zan maybe winning out this 1v1. We've seen Nag kiting around this bottom area for so long now.
Such a good job.
He's doing a ridiculously good job right now. Still has Crystal Hibernation as well. As I say that, he's going to use it. And Soup has arrived on the scene, so this is actually going to be turned into a 2 versus 1 in favor of Car Crash. But that means that elsewhere on the map, it is going to be Car Crash outnumbered.
They need to be very careful here and what they're choosing. And Can Scout just does a great job at trying to make sure that if he survives this is really, really good. But he's low HP at the moment. He's a little bit far away from Celestial Avatar as well. He needs to make sure he gets rid of those conditions. He can be able to get rid of them now as he pops that glyph down and gets the seed. But he's got to be very careful. Oh, here we go. Celestial Avatar comes up. We do have 1 cap apiece at the moment. This game could still be open. We still have Tranquility, and actually Tranquility is going to come up again. But look, what a fantastic job Zan's doing. As long as Car Crash can actually maintain the map as it is at the moment, they're going to be okay for a little bit of time. But they need to make sure they get this kill. They're not getting it quick enough. Look at Zan. He's doing such a beastly job at the bottom of the map.
We were praising Nag on how well he was able to kite. And Zan's like, anything you can do, I can do better. Even if it's 2v1, I'm going to run rings around you guys in this bottom area of the map. And just keeping that buff away from Car Crash is so crucial right now, and it means that they can continuously keep stacking up these points. Zan might just be finally about to go down. They seems to be out of cooldowns, but he's now got the Oracle arriving on the scene. He's going to be able to help out his teammate. And that should be swinging the tide ever so slightly in their favor. Zan's still just about staying on his feet, but even if he goes down, the res should be available.
They need to push on him, really. I mean, he needs to get the condition down onto Zan at all. He was so low there, and they got their cooldowns back, and he's up to about 50% HP as well. And Sam is down over towards this side of the map as well, between mid and Temple, which means we can see the +1 coming up over on the midpoint as well, potentially from the team. So now we're actually going to see Super dropping back up towards midpoint, because Kanscout's gone down, and with any potential comeback, they need to make sure they hold on to potentially the node they have if they get Tranquility. But because they're losing players now on the map, they're really going to lose out down below, and I don't feel like they're going to be able to get this. Tranquility is actually coming back again now. Obviously, it's not been taken yet as well, but Stillness comes up. We need to make sure someone on the team of Car Crash gets this, otherwise there's no way they're going to be able to come back. Super does get res midpoint, though, with 2 Mesmers. That's very good survivability from the Car Crash team, and they've been able to be actually going that 2v1 in the first place down at Trank, because they've got such a bunkery comp as well, with 2 bunker Mesmers, and with this with Kanscout playing Druid, sorry. But they haven't been able to get the kills quick enough, because Zan is such an absolute boss down at the bottom over on that Tranquility 1v2 for so long.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like this might just be the end of the game here. 2 minutes left and 200-point advantage in favor of rank 55 Dragons. They might just have clinched this one for themselves, taking a 2-0 victory over Car Crashed. And moving on towards the top of the leaderboard here. Again, 3-0 now is what is their points in the standings. Just zooming in. Everybody falling asleep down in the bottom portion of the map.
They're done with Tranquility. They've had enough of that buff, apparently. So move over towards the altar. Yeah, I mean, they've got the 2 cap now. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to grab Stillness or anything to get them back into the map, unfortunately. And really, that's, yeah, probably the end of game as we see at the moment. Still, players are still going, and we're still trying to see them come back into this game. We've got Ferocity buffs. Maybe they can get some extra kills and whatnot, but don't feel like it's going to come out. They could get a free cap, you never know. But this is really feels like it's over at present, with 140-point lead ahead at present. It's not going to happen for the boys, unfortunately.
Yeah,
still trying now.
I mean, they're trying their very best. They've got 45 seconds to do it. If they could get the 3 cap, I think we got over 100 points in less than a minute in the last game. So
yeah, it's not going to happen.
Gotta have faith, man. Gotta have faith.
Normally I would have faith. I mean, timing and the amount of cap points that come through is just not going to be enough at the moment as it is. But you know, they want to have some practice against this comp at the moment because it's going to come up again. We've got 2 Revenants, a Bunker Mesmer, an Ellie, and an NG. This is going to come up again in future, so they need to try and get some practice against this right now. And this is a good opportunity for them to do that, and then using it well. They're not giving up well, apart from Levin, who's standing on the side because they've won. But really, Car Crash, you know, they're trying to make the most of it, and that's something to be proud of. And you know, I think we're going to see a different. You know, maybe a different kettle of fish come out from them next week. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, rank 55, again, superb play from them. They are going to be able to take the victory for themselves and push themselves into a 3-0 point standing in the scoreboards. And, I mean, commiserations to Car Crash. They did do a phenomenal job across that series, though. They really definitely gave rank 55 a hard time in taking that victory.
Yeah, and they tried to change things up, you know. They changed their comp, they brought the sub in, and that's what they tried to do. You need to be able to do that rather than just running straight back into the next game on Temple. It's a different map, try a different comp, change things up a bit when you're going against an opponent where you've been maybe, you know, that first game hasn't been won by yourselves. Of course, try and change it, and that's the kind of mentality that's very important to further yourselves in the Pro League, and which has made them, you know, win at least the series so far in the Pro League and get them some points on the board, which is, at the moment, is very important for positioning.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a look at our standings after that series. Let's take a look how these players, or how these teams are faring. It is going to be a 2-0 in favor of rank 55 Dragons up against Car Crash. And our next match of the day is going to be Vermilion up against Purple Noise. Now, Purple Noise were a team that last week against More Guns N' Roses had arguably the most exciting game of the Pro League so far. I believe the final score was 501 to 500 points in favor of More Guns. And I mean, it was a 2-0 in the end, but it definitely didn't feel like it deserved to be a 2-0.
This is what I did last week when that game happened, and afterwards. This is what I was thinking and doing. I was just like, what happened? But compared to their first game in that series as well, it was just top-notch stuff. They really came back into that game, and they did a lot better with their rotational play. They actually moved into better positions, but hopefully for them, they have brought some damage this week because they need to bring the damage.
They absolutely
put something in chat and help them bring the damage because the emotes-wise, whatever you want to bring, swords, some kind of swords, give Purple Noise your energy because they need it for their damage.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Now, we have a member of rank 55 Dragons standing by. It is going to be Levin. And we are going to be able to ask him a couple of questions. Now, we spoke to Levin last week as well. They did manage, obviously, this is their 3rd victory in a row now. They managed to take the series against TCG last week.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see how Levin is doing this time. So let's bring Levin up on your screens. Hello again, Levin. How are you doing, man? How are you feeling off the back of that victory? Are you feeling good that you've managed to take 3-0 in the Pro League so far?
Yeah, it's definitely a good feeling, especially that win last week against TCG.
You're not going to forget about that win anytime soon, are you? I don't think anyone is, actually, if I'm honest. I still haven't. You know, probably Helseth might have something to say about that in the future. But yeah, I mean, again tonight, you know, showing you're quite dominant. What do you think was your strength against Car Crash tonight, really? Especially them having to change their comp up. Do you feel they changed their comp dependent on the map, or do you feel like it was something that you guys were doing on Kylo that really made them change their comp?
I think we just have individual better players on our team than Car Crash, and I think they just wanted to try something out and see if it works better against Necro, since Necro can't really do that much against double Coniref because of resistance spam. I mean, sometimes he was doing stuff, but I think Necro isn't that great against double Coniref. So yeah, I think they just wanted to try out and see how it goes.
It's pretty difficult for Necros at the moment, definitely, in all honesty.
Yeah, so absolutely. So a question I was wondering is, you guys, you're almost halfway through the season now. You've got 3 wins under your belt. Once you get 4 wins, you pretty much guarantee yourselves a spot in playoffs. You've already won over half of the games. Where do you see yourself landing in playoffs now? You're already at the top of the scoreboard. Do you think you're going to be able to maintain that spot for the whole season?
Well, I think the most two important matches are like after the winter break against Orange and Vermilion. And yeah, we're feeling pretty confident. I mean, Orange has a lot of problems now that they switched out H. And we're practicing a lot in Scrim still, and we got that momentum by that win against TCG, so we definitely see us going into finals and gonna take first or second place.
Wow.
Cool, okay.
I
then,
mean, anyone would say so. I mean, especially, you know, with that TCG win, we keep talking about it, that was a pinnacle point of our season. Especially for these guys. And now, you know, rank 55 dragons, you know, 55 HP monks, whatever, from the past, they're going to see themselves potentially at our finals, where really we've been looking to see that team name get there for a long time.
Well, we're not really 55 HP monks anymore.
I know,
yeah. Not just one.
With 55 in the name, then.
Yeah, well,
is that okay?
Well, 55 comes from Guild Wars 1, though, and this 55 comes from the PvP system with ranking ups. So that's a bit different origin.
Fair play.
So there you go, a little bit of history about the team names. But we'll wrap up this interview. Thank you so much for talking to us again, Levin, and good luck next week with your games, and congratulations on your 3-0 score so far.
Thanks, Joe.
See you, dude.
See you later. Well, there we go. That was Levin. We're going to be moving
He's been
on.
on camera so much recently.
He has.
3 times
in fact,
in the last week.
our only video interview last week.
Oh yeah, that was with Levin.
It was with Levin. So pretty camera famous at this stage.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's been seen more than quite a few people, actually.
Yeah.
Need to get them involved a little bit more.
Absolutely do. Well, we'll see if we can get them involved after we go on a short break. But do not go anywhere, because right after the break, we are going to see Vermilion up against Purple Noise. We'll see if Vermilion are going to be able to push their score to a 3-0 and tie rank 55, or whether Purple Noise are going to be able to get their first game on the board. We'll be back in just a few. everyone, and welcome back to the Guild Wars 2 Pro League. My name is Joe Munchables Fenny, and casting with me once again is Daniel Jebro Littleton. That's the first time I've actually done a full name intro on this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is the first time I think anyone's done a full... Yeah, actually, full name.
We're breaking the meta here. We're breaking new ground with the Guild Wars 2 Pro League. And I mean, if you haven't been watching the stream already tonight, let's catch up with where we are so far. We've already seen rank 55 Dragons take their series against Car Crash 2-0. And now we're going to be moving on to our second series of the day. It is going to be Vermilion up against Purple Noise. Now, looking at the scoreboard for the season so far, Vermilion are 2-0 up. Purple Noise are 0-2 down. On paper, this series looks potentially one-sided.
It looks potentially one-sided indeed, but maybe they have changed something up since last week.
Yeah.
We've seen some kind of, change in their positioning and the way they're approaching the maps just by that game change over on Forest, which was quite strong for them. Whether or not they can pick up some kind of surprise, because they've got absolutely nothing to lose, so they can really mix it up this week. They know that they're playing one of the top teams at the moment, and they are the bottom team, like you said, so you can really just go full out. Can we see some extra damage coming out from these guys? Something which is really going to surprise Vermilion, maybe surprise comps, something which could really test these guys today. Yeah. Because it'd be great to see some kind, even a game taken away from Vermilion today. Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like for Purple Noise, it's exactly what you were saying before the break. They need more damage in their composition. Yeah. We saw last week, it felt like the majority of the time during the games, they were just trying to kite, trying to run away, trying to just evade their opponents, but were never really able to fight back fully, never really able to be the ones putting on the pressure. So they were able to keep up to more Guns N' Roses last week, but they were never, it never felt like they were ahead or getting ahead. So we'll see if they've sort of looked back on that, reflected on what went wrong last week, and seen if they can improve for this week. But I feel like we should get this series underway. We are on the Battle of Kylo once again, and we have a map intro for you guys. Let's take a look at what we've got coming up.
In the Battle of Kylo, players will fight for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Capturing these objectives can be quite difficult at times, as the enemy team may choose to rain fiery balls of death upon you from their trebuchet. The first team to 500 points wins.
Hello, and you're looking at me again, but we're going to be going on to the map in just a second. Here we are.
Have a look at you, Joe.
On the Battle
maybe they want to see your faces. I think it's just production crew just missed your face.
They just wanted to look at you, mate.
I'm pretty sure they did.
You're a very beautiful man who wanted to show the viewers. But let's take a look at the
stop complimenting each other.
We're going to be getting underway.
They won't be happy about it. I think I was... Anyway,
let's restart this. Vermilion up against Purple Noise here. Let's take a look at the builds that Vermilion are going to be bringing into this matchup.
Sorry, I just flipped over to Honey because I was like, what? Okay, we'll get there in a minute. Alcor, Masterful, not going to be playing on his Norn today, but he's going to be playing a Bunker Mesmer, support Mesmer, of course. This is what he's going for. Seeing the guys going for Sentinel Amulet more, so going for the toughness and vitality. So full-on tankiness, really. A little bit of power damage coming out, but it's not really that necessary, of course, but it's really, really a tanky amulet. They're not doing a massive... They could be doing a bit of him more healing through Celestial and whatnot, but they're tanking, they're supporting fights, so that's what that's about. Curve is going to be playing Condi Rev as well. We've seen this build play quite a few times today and in the last week as well with Viper's Amulet. Snowball going to be playing Elementalist here. He's going to be going for... Oh no, he's sticking with Powerful Aura here. So whereas we're seeing a lot of the Elementalist switch between that and Cleansing Water, he's going to be sticking with Powerful Aura as well. And I think we've seen Snowball a couple of times going for Harmonious Conduit, grabbing the stability there through the Overload, sorry. But then we're going to go over towards RG. He's going to be playing Inventions, Alchemy, and Scrapper as well. Still going for very similar builds here for the Engineers, of course. Great disengage potential as well as survivability, but getting off a lot of damage as well. And then we are going to finally go over towards Triffin, who is still playing over on the Condi Rev as well. Yeah. So that's going to be that team gone over for now.
Yeah, and so, I mean, once again, double Condi Rev.
Yep,
we saw this in the last game. Luckily for Purple Noise, they don't have a Necro. And I mean, we heard from Levin in that interview, Necro really, really struggling in this double Condi Rev meta that's going around. We'll see what Purple Noise are going to be bringing to the fight to take on the double Rev comp coming out from Vermilion.
We first of all have a Badaka here, who's going to be playing on the Bunker Mesmer, of course. What rune is he going for? We're still going for a Celestial Amulet, though. Actually, I don't want to check something very quickly on our course. So there's a difference here. You see this. Superior rune durability with the Sentinel, and then we've got Badaka, who's playing with the Chronomancer still. So he's able to get extra quickness through his wells, but going with Celestial. So, you know, still this rune feels like it might be quite strong and a good choice for the Mesmer, but you know there's differences in what the comps and actually, well, we'll see when we go over towards Honey, because they might need more resin power, which is maybe one of those reasons, the extra reason they've stayed with that rune there as well. Because guys, hold on to your seats. Honey is playing a Dragon Hunter.
Good lord.
You heard me the first time. You heard it correctly. But Honey has not only changed builds, but she is playing a full-on damage build. This is really new for us to see. I've been casting Honey's games a long time now, and I cannot believe this is coming out myself, but it's something that maybe, you know, they picked up from Team PZ, where they potentially could come up with a surprise here, because they haven't had to deal with this for a while. And we have seen someone log off there, maybe potentially switch up. Scovo is going to be going on for the Elementalist now as well. He's going to be running with Dagger Focus, of course, going for Water, also Earth, and Tempest here as well. He's going for Diamond Skin because, you know, conditions are more of a thing at the moment. Stoneheart's pretty much gone out of this meta, really, for this build as well. He's going for Powerful Auras as well, though, in this build. And we're going to see another Condi Rev coming out, of course, with Demon Lord coming into the team, and he's going to be going for Rune of Durability there with Vipers, of course, and then we're going to go to Carver, very similar probably, but he's got the Elite Mortar kit there now. I feel like Stealth Gyro, the Sneak Gyro, might be very useful for Honey for her survival if he's in situations with her, but maybe he's feeling like the actual Mortar kit is going to give me a lot more bunkability on the points as well, so we're going to have to wait and see what comes out from him, but very... No, somewhat of a tanky comp, but they're definitely bringing the damage with the Dragon Hunter and the Revenant there. So I'm very interested. And with Carver, so they've switched things up completely on this side. And this could be a very positive move. And why not?
Yeah.
Why not bring the Dragon Hunter? Why not?
Why not? And I mean, this is exactly what you were saying. They need more damage. Dragon Hunter definitely offers that. If there's one thing I'm very curious about is the fact that Scovo on the Elementalist isn't going to be running that Cleansing Water. If they're against the double Condi Rev, that could be a huge sort of flaw in the build here.
It could be potentially, yeah. They could have some issues with that. I mean, maybe he's thinking about longer sustain through, you know, through these auras and whatnot. I feel like you're right though. I feel like to a degree this would be more useful for them, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, with that, but I feel like Honey is going to be an easy focus target for these guys, because I'm not sure how much experience she's got on this build outside of Ellie, of course. You know,
she might have been spamming it over the last week. We'll have to see as we head towards the game. Just waiting for the final player from Vermilion to jump back into the map, but let's remind ourselves as well. I have not mentioned it on stream just yet this week. We do have a betting bot going on in chat, so if you're interested in putting some points on the line and potentially winning yourself some gems, make sure you bet on who you think is going to be able to take this best of 3 series. You can type !bets and then whichever team and how many points you want to bet, but whoever has the most points at the end of the stream today will win themselves 2,000 gems, and whoever's in second place will win 800. So nice little bit of a bonus for you guys for watching the Pro League.
So if you had some gold, as you would say, with the betting system, how much gold would you, if you had, say, 400 gold, how much gold would you put on, and which team?
See, myself, I would go all in. Because I'm that kind of... I feel like if you're going to be betting on this, it's only the top 2 people out of everyone watching who win prizes.
That's true.
And the odds are someone watching is going to all in on every... I mean, you start on 50 points, so they'll all in, come back with 100 points if they win the first one, all in, etc., etc. So I feel like you kind of need to all in to have a shot, at the prize.
He's like... He's already done it on a secret ninja Twitch account.
I've got like 9 Twitch accounts running on my monitor. I just keep on.
Well, like the guys who won last week, I feel like should be very much applauded because you know, based on some of the surprise results, you know,
Yeah, it was...
Before looking at the comps and stuff, maybe, you know, it's a bit more obvious about things changing, but I feel like those guys have done very well with their betting. This week might be a little easier.
Yeah, my question there is, are the people that won last week some kind of oracles, some kind of foreseers, or could it just have been a little bit of luck, or a little bit of just supporting the right teams? But we'll have to see. Make sure you put your bets down on who you want to win, and make sure as well that you follow us on social media to keep up to date with the Pro League. You find us at Guild Wars 2, at ArenaNet. They'll be updating you with all of that good stuff on Twitter. We can be found on Facebook as well, and there is an ArenaNet YouTube channel. So all of that good stuff can be found at your very fingertips.
We've got all the VODs now from the past weeks actually on the Guild Wars channel in a big playlist with the On Point show and whatnot for NA and EU. So you definitely, go and have a look at those matchups as well as checking out the Pro League site, because
it's
all about this
as well. If you're new to the pro scene, watching through those VODs, it can build more of a history for you guys on not only the players but the teams as well.
Yeah.
And you can start to learn sort of who plays what and how the different play styles vary. I mean, we've been talking about how Honey has completely changed up her style for this match. We've yet to see her on Dragon Hunter, and typically speaking, in the past, she's always been playing those supportive roles. I mean, Dragon Hunter is pretty much the opposite of a supportive role. So you'll be able to sort of build characters for yourself. And I find that when I'm watching stuff like the Pro League, it's a lot more enjoyable to watch if you know who you're watching, if it's not just 5 random people.
I mean, we've got, you know, the reason we're talking on, guys, and blabbering on is because we're waiting for someone to come back on the side of Vermilion. And actually, if they don't come back quite soon, they're going to have some issues here. They could actually maybe even forfeit a game here if they're not careful, because we're actually been waiting for quite a while. So, you know, there is rules in place for us to get on with this cast and get on with our day. So, just as I say that,
there he is.
Maybe he heard me.
There
Obviously, there's a lag delay, but there's a delay on stream. But someone heard me. Welcome back to the Guild Wars 2 Pro League.
Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, so everybody is on the map, and I think we should be able to get everything underway in just a second. We've already been through the builds. We've already been through what's going on here. And we'll have to see. I mean, fingers crossed, we should be able to get this game going in just a couple of seconds for you guys. And there it is, as I say that. As I was praying to the heavens, they're already up, and it is going to be the first map of this series. Vermilion up against Purple Noise. The game starting in just 7 seconds, and we'll see whether Vermilion are going to be able to boost their win streak into 3 wins and 0 losses, or whether it's going to be Purple Noise tying themselves with Car Crashed on a 1-2 scoreline at the end of this best of 3.
Wait and see what this cross is going to be. Engineer and Revenant from the red team at the moment. Vermilion going over towards this side of the map, looking for some contention. Can they keep it really, using their 5th skill from the Guardian, of course, to make sure they try and lock down Curve here? Could be a really, really great ability. And if Curve isn't running with that Crystalline Hibernation as a cooldown here, he could actually be in a lot of trouble at different points. And he actually drops to about half HP. Yeah. But now his focus is back onto Honey. If she loses cooldowns here, she's going to be running a lot. And that is exactly what's happened, but she's doing okay for now. She has a bit of content removal through her virtues, of course, as well as a heal still coming up. And with them jumping into the traps, RG has had a lot of problems here as well. And actually, they might be able to take the first kill. They do. RG does go down, though, and that's a good amount of survival coming out with Alcor in this team fight. But I think Vermilion might have found something.
Yeah, RG immediately rests there, but look at the health bars for Purple Noise. That is under so much pressure right now. We need to see the damage coming out. Honey going to be dropped into downstate, though. Scovo as well feeling the pressure here. Honey is going to be able to get back up onto her feet, get a bit of distance as well, so she'll be able to start to throw out that damage. You can see the crits coming out around just under 4,000, and Badaka, though, is in a little bit of trouble. The res is going to be not coming out. They execute. Oh, wait, no. He managed to dodge it.
No, we saw him port away straight away. So in that downstate ability, he used that quite quickly. So we actually see him coming back up quite quickly, and actually the res potential there was great. But we've got the RG now, Curve, and Alcor. So this 3v3 is really where a lot of stuff might come into play here. But Alcor gets And we can actually see a nice gravity well coming off there. Carver and Triffin, this 1v1 is very, very important. All of these matchups are currently. We see Badaka going down, but Carver as well on the other side of the map over towards Windmill. And we do see Vermilion being very powerful, not only in the team fight, but in that 1v1 situation as well. And things move over towards Midpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. Snowball found himself in a 3v1 here. Not a situation he wants to be in. He's just going to be trying to kite away, but gets knocked down into the downstate. But there's Alcor, and he's going to get the res. Snowball can't escape from. Oh, Snowball can escape from this one, rather. And it is going to be the clock tower contested. Purple Noise can't seem to catch a break here.
Yeah, Demon Lord actually did a great job of getting up there onto the side, trying to interfere there. So really, almost great play from him. And we are going to see, you know, at the end of the day, Purple Noise losing quite a few players here early on. Although they did sustain for quite a long time, but that 1v1 they lost over on Wimble was very important to grab the two side nodes. And now there's a big team fight, and it feels like, although Honey does go down, Badaka doing a great job at trying to res up here, but can they survive this situation again? Where it feels like, you know, at the moment, Vermilion team fight is just that little bit better, and Badaka drops very low here. He's got nothing left to help him out here, but Honey does come in with the extra damage, which does potentially push them away, but she knows in the end that he is going to be taken out, and Skova just going to be left in this situation. But now Honey needs to figure out where she's going to move to, and she's going to go for the decap on Windmill, and no one is actually going to stop this right now.
Yeah, so
and they could easily have been moving out into this position, but feeling like they're just going to hold on to what they've got with the two caps here on the midpoint potentially, and over on the mansion, of course.
Absolutely. RG going to be able to win out that 1v1 on the mansion. The decap can't come out because Triffin has interrupted it. And with a 2-man advantage, Scovo and Demon Lord both currently dead. This might just be the clock tower going in favor as well. Honey just desperately trying to escape right now. Going to be able to blink forwards, but Curve is not letting her get away easily. He's going to be chasing this one down, and Honey actually found herself in a 2 versus 1, getting slowly but surely chunked out. Will get knocked into that downstate, and I don't believe anybody's going to be able to get there for the res. Badaka and the gang are hanging about nearby, but Honey is going to go down, and the clock tower again. This fight slowly but surely going in favor of Vermilion. 150 points on the board, and Purple Noise yet to get a single point.
Treb action coming out from the team of Purple Noise. This is, you know, if you want to try something out, let's bring the Treb. Let's bring the fiery balls of death on towards the midpoint. Maybe this could help out the team members here. They need to cover Carver with that Treb, of course, as well. There's Elixir S-Procs as well. It needs to potentially be taken out by conditions, obviously, as Curve and Triffing are coming out onto him. And he's going to be taken out, and the free cap comes out from Vermilion. They are continuing their dominance in the Pro League at the moment, trying to hold it with the free cap with no points, not even a kill on the map at the moment for the team of Purple Noise. And Honey about to be dropped here as well. It's good support coming out from Scovo, but they need to keep it up to keep her alive so they can push back and try and get some kills there.
Right now, Vermilion are trying to match their seasonal score if they can win this series with their current node score and trying to make it 3-0. Badaka feeling the pressure here, trying to kite away from this one. Demon Lord as well, just desperately trying to kite. I feel like I consistently say that when I'm talking about Purple Noise. Badaka has been taken into that downstate and has been executed as well. Demon Lord in a 1 versus 1 against Snowball, but it doesn't seem to be panning out all that well for him so far.
Yeah, and we're going to probably see, we're not even going to bother seeing someone coming over towards the side of the map either. And actually, you know, Snowball using that staff of course as well. He's doing a fantastic job at the moment. He's able to hold this point, and actually, I don't think he's not going to get the kill anytime soon, but it could happen actually versus Demon Lord at the moment. Demon Lord does get his HP up, slowly rising here. But where we're going to see Blue Team rotate to, not too sure at the moment. Looks like we're going to see them bunker down on this midpoint, try and hold it and get a cap in this game.
Yeah, I mean, they need to try and get something on the board, but Alcor just going to be denying the cap on that mid, making sure that they can't really get anything going for themselves. Both sides of the clock tower have been destroyed now. The bell might just have tolled, though, for Purple Noises. There's 8.5 minutes left in this game. 300 points, though, already in favor of Vermilion. It's continuing to tick on up. And now, slowly but surely, Vermilion seem to be winning out this fight in mid. However, there is quite a bit of pressure coming out. Look at the Condi stacking up onto RG. Not having a good time there, but he's going to be able to sustain himself through this one.
The thing is, like, Purple Noise are coming into they can't get their kills quick enough because we've got such sustain and some bunkability coming out from Vermilion, as I was trying to think about whether or not that was a word. But it's just not happening for them at the moment. And even though they're bringing the damage, you know, they're not able to come together and really get that focus down because we've got too much sustain coming out from this team. And it feels like Alcor has just picked up. We never really saw him play Mesmer before he played a bunker support build. But he's played Ellie, he's played Druid, he's played Shoutboy Warrior, which was heavily in our meta with 4 Heart Thorns as well. Like, you know, he's always about the support, and it feels like if there's a build that's supportive, this man is going to be able to come out, he's going to be able to play it, and he's not only going to be able to play it well, but he's going to be a key part of his team, which really keeps them together. And really, this team of Vermilion has come together in the past 6 months, and they've been performing outstandingly well and progressing so well as a team. Their consistency as well has been one thing which has really pushed them ahead in Guild Wars 2 PvP. And at the moment, they are dominating not only this game, but they are going to be able to probably even take this series if this carries on to the second map.
Yeah, Purple Noise really, on the back of this one, going to have to go back to the drawing board and work out quite what went wrong here. The 3-cap finally coming out, and it is going to be Vermilion slowly but surely racking up those points, and we're definitely at a point where it is going to be pretty much over for Purple Noise. Vermilion, just 50 points to get left. And Honey has been dropped down into that down state. Scovo as well, just trying to kite away from everyone, just trying to stay in the fight. Carver as well, incredibly low. And it might just be all she wrote here for Purple Noise. 25 points left on the clock. And that is going to be Vermilion, slowly but surely taking this series. 494, 497, one more tick, and they have got the victory for themselves. So Vermilion 1-0 up now in this series, currently 2-0 up across the season, and they're looking to turn that into a 3rd victory. So, I mean, fantastic play from Vermilion in that map. Just complete map control from start to finish.
Yeah, domination. Not 1 point on the board at all. No kills, nothing from Purple Noise. But they did what we said. You know, they said, this is going to be a tough series. We know where our position in the Pro League. They haven't got any illusions of grandeur. You know, they don't feel like they're going to be able to get up into that top half, let alone maybe even getting above 8, 7. So their main aim in Pro League at the moment is to sustain themselves, get that kind of that consistency as a team, work out their composition, and move into the next season, survive this season as well.
Well, we'll see if they're going to be able to survive this series, let alone this season, because Vermilion, they're not playing nice right now. Vermilion are pretty much feeling like a playground bully. Yeah, pretty much.
Stop bullying them. They don't deserve it. They're nice people, so Vermilion. But, you know, that's the thing. But, yeah, we're looking forward to hopefully, you know, something maybe could come out on this map. I feel like, you know, maybe... feels like maybe they need even a little bit more sustain is actually, you know, something maybe painful that I could suggest, even though, you know, it's told bring the damage, bring the sustain. Make up your mind, Jebro. What are you talking about? Well, at the moment, they're not able to survive some of these fights. Badaka's doing a great job. But unfortunately, at the moment, I think we're seeing them being pulled into points as well. You know, towards the end of that last game especially, they weren't able to win any of their matchups. They weren't able to win any of their team fights. They didn't win anything, and they've really got to change up on this map. This is a map where they've got the opportunity to do that. There's such a massive difference between the first map and the second map in this rotation today. They've got buffs that they can pick out. If they can get the kills, maybe Ferocity can push them ahead in that. But, you know, Ferocity isn't something that people go for in this map unless you're able to dominate with those kills. And I feel like Vermilion, after that last game, they might even go for Ferocity and really stack up those kills and end this game quite quickly. Well, they could do it.
That's certainly... I mean, it's an orthodox sort of strategy, but right now, I feel like Purple Noise need to try and go for some kind of unorthodox strategy. But let's get onto this map and find out how this one's going to pan out. It is going to be the Temple of the Silent Storm. We'll bring up the intro for you guys.
Victory is never assured in the Temple of the Silent Storm. In this conquest map, players will fight for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Awareness is key, as powerful meditation points will spawn around the map at various intervals and grant powerful bonuses to the team that claims them. Stillness will grant your team double points for each capture point owned. Tranquility will grant your team control of all 3 capture points. The first team to 500 points wins.
Here we are on the Temple of the Silent Storm. The teams haven't got time for intros right now because the game is already 15 seconds underway. And we've already found Honey helping out in mid, trying to take down Snowball with Skovo. So far, finding themselves with a 2v1 could be very beneficial. Maybe this is the start to the game they needed. However, we do see that Snowball's got reinforcements coming. It's going to be Curve arriving on the scene and should be able to help out his teammate.
It's going to be a good position, actually, a good place for them to go, because actually, you know, that build is kind of susceptible to that, you know, force damage as well, and that's actually not a bad rotation at the start of the game because they really felt the pressure there, so they had to move towards mid to actually help them out. Obviously, they forced their way over towards the altar, so Vermilion already stacking the points in. Carver under pressure over on the side, but Triffin, oh no, just as I say that, Triffin does get regenerated here. Nice stun comes out as well from the Mesmer. We see that shield ability coming out from him, of course, as well. And we're looking for something over here on this Temple node, but Demon Lord dropping very low himself. And they need to be careful here about their targets. Triffin is dropping quite low, actually. And over on the midpoint, Snowball as well. And it feels like this opening rotation could maybe put... Oh!
There's the
execute. Snow comes out, but it's not enough in the end. And he's destroyed by that finisher over on the Temple. And it looks like at the moment, this initial map movement could be good for Purple Noise. But they need to make sure they make something of it now and get a cap out of it before the respawn comes in.
Yeah, they absolutely have to. Purple Noise hype right now. They've got the first kill on the board of the series, and they need to turn it into something more. Alcor as well. In this middle of the map, he's done such a fantastic job so far. He's been there the entire time, and now he's rotated up towards this side point, but he's incredibly low. Demon Lord going to be trying to finish him off. He's so close to going down, but doing a fantastic job on this Mesmer to just stay alive on barely any HP, dodging out just about everything.
Nice.
Finally drops though. Carver, though, in the meantime, has gone incredibly low himself during this fight.
They've got this, though. They've got it indeed. And that's going to be the kill. And that's the kills they've been looking for. Although it took them a while to get this to this place in the first place. And so now they need to move mid or go for far. What are they going to do? They're going to sustain this midpoint, the blue team, and go for the side nodes? That's what they're doing. But red team, they know that they're missing two at the moment. So blue and the Purple Noise are holding midpoint in a 3v4 at the moment. So they need to make sure they can get back into the map.
Well, we'll see if they're going to be able to do so. Honey and Skovo might not be so lucky because Skovo's been dropped into downstate. Going to be able to get his Vapor Form off, and the rest might just come out, but Darker, though, dropped into downstate. Honey is incredibly low, and this is bad news for Purple Noise right now, but Darker's going to be going down, as is Honey, and there's only 2 members of Purple Noise remaining. It looked so fantastic. They got themselves a 2 cap, but now Vermilion just taking these kills. Maybe Purple Noise can respawn in time to protect at least one of these points.
That decision was dangerous because it was either go mid and potentially lose the team fight and get 2 capped against them, or go for that side node, guarantee their home point, so at least when they respawn, they can actually keep that point very well. They're going to be able to reinforce it easily. So now Carver's dipped back onto the point. Very good job from him to make sure he doesn't die early on. So make sure they keep the point contested, stay in the game, but Stillness has now come up. They need to make sure they get this. Otherwise, you know, it's going to make it hard for them to come back into the game. But look, Red Team is sustaining so well over on the Temple node now that they're going to be able to get the altar, and they've got the kill on Demon Lord. They're also going to get the kill on Carver quite soon. He drops into Elixir S form now as well, and actually gets chased upon. That's great pursuing power from Trippin coming up actually as well. And now we are going to see him potentially drop as well. A couple of burning ticks there, gets those conditions off. Oh, looks like they might have some trouble. Skovo is doing a good job over here at supporting the team as well. Just about drops into water there as well to get rid of some of these conditions. Carver needs to get closer if he possibly can.
Carver doing a fantastic job of kiting. Honey, on the other hand, not so lucky. Has been dropped down over at that Stillness buff. Demon Lord going to be able to be there to contest it, though. This midpoint, nobody's been around for quite some time here. I feel like maybe Purple Noise could just go and find a decap for that one. Demon Lord trying to just get these dots down, trying to play.
It feels like right now, Honey could just come in. Oh, she's going to go to mid. She could have been quite useful here. She could have come in for the burst damage or supported Demon Lord because he was so low. I mean, he's going to be okay for a little bit of time here, but now we've got the elements. This Snowball is forced to mid. But Demon Lord goes down, and it feels like Honey could be very useful in going for the burst damage mid. Stillness. Get the Stillness cap as well, and try and, you know, at least take it away from them and get the kill, so that maybe they could spread to mid and towards the altar as well. But unfortunately, that's not what happened, and now she's forced into that 1v1. At least the Elementalists on red team now is forced into that 1v1 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, had Honey been able to capture that middle node, guarantee the capture, then they would have been in a fantastic position. But regrettably, wasn't able to do that in time. Snowball came and contested that one, but the stillness has been grabbed here by Vermilion. So even though they only have the altar, they're stacking up those 2 points every 2 seconds. They're going to be very happy with this one as the lead is slowly but surely snowballing in their favor. No pun intended. Honey is going to be dropped down once again. The rest might just be coming out here, though. Honey's so close to getting back onto her feet, but it's going to be denied, and she is going to be taken down. Demon Lord as well, dropped into that down state. But Alcor and RG both incredibly low on the other side. This maybe could be an opportunity for Purple Noise, but they're doing a good job of sustaining here.
Yeah, I think they're going to be able to sustain as fine enough because we've got 2 kills on the map. They can easily +1 on that. They've got the 2 caps. It's going to be a 3 cap very soon as well. We've got only 15 seconds until Stillness and Tranquility come up below, and that's going to be a point in the game where, you know, Purple Noise want to make sure they come back. Demon Lord pops downstairs. Who's going to go up top in mid? You know, maybe it would have been a good idea actually for Honey to go towards Stillness. She could easily contest that for quite a while with her range, but she wants to try and go for this 1v1. This is, you know, she might be able to get some nice damage off onto Curve actually. She's got some Condi removal of her own. She pulls those traps out onto Curve. You know, they haven't been able to, had to actually deal with a Dragon Hunter for so long in terms of condition revs. We haven't actually seen many condition revs versus Dragon Hunters at all. So, you know, that could be a surprising win maybe for Honey over on that side of the map.
Yeah, absolutely could, but we can see the 1v1 between Demon Lord and Snowball going on around that Tranquility buff. I don't think either of them is going to be able to take a kill down here anytime soon. Typically, in the Tranquility area, it's usually just kind of a stalemate 1v1. Neither team typically manages to grab that one for themselves. Demon Lord on that Condi Rev trying to do what he can, but look at the health bars for Purple Noise right now. Nobody above half HP. As I say, that Carver pretty much tops himself. But Badaka not winning out in that 1v1. I feel like I've said Honey goes down again a million times this game. She has lost out that 1v1 against Curve, who is going to be able to get that execute and is going to be able to secure this altar for Vermilion. That's going to be the 2 cap. It's Badaka again in this 1v1 against Triffin. In fact, looks like it might be turning into more than just that, but I mean, across the board, 7 minutes left. Purple Noise, they need to do something now or this game is going to be lost.
Pretty much for the moment, it feels like it's good, almost, I don't want to say it again, but it feels like it's the beginning, well, it's the beginning of the end ever since they got the 2 cap, because it's been held for quite a while now. Honey wasn't able to win that 1v1 on the other side of the map. Too much Condi pressure in the end. He's going to put her down, of course, but we are going to see, you know, they've been able to sustain on this side of the map for a while. Pulling the Mesmer out of that situation is really good, but they haven't been able to use Badaka anywhere else to potentially get the caps, and they're going to be fighting. These fights are so sustained. Standing on this point, oh, actually at the moment, funnily enough, has actually gone in their favor, but it's taken so long that they've been essentially team fighting on something which isn't going to give them anything in the end, because all they're doing is taking Stillness away, and because of that as well, we've seen the 3 cap coming out. What Stillness got them in the end, it stopped them from taking a 3 cap with Stillness caps as well, but they've not got any nodes in their favor at all. So really, was that beneficial in the end?
They did get the kill though. And with the 3 cap in favor of Vermilion, even with the kill on their side, Purple Noise not feeling fantastic right now. They are going to be able to decap that altar, but it is going to be contested as well as the gate there. And slowly but surely, Vermilion seem to be just ticking this victory towards themselves. Curve just trying to dodge away as much as he can in this 1v1. Just trying to basically keep... can't actually read the name, Badaka. Gonna keep Badaka.
Trying to keep him
ready,
yeah. He's just trying to pile on the pressure, and all the Mesmer can do is survive and try and sustain himself while he waits for someone to +1 and get the kill on him. But it's not going to happen anytime soon. And down below, you know, this fight between Scovo and Snowball is never going to end. And that's really the game, unfortunately. And we just saw, you know, so much pressure from the Condi Revs. We're having 2 Revenants as well. It's not just the damage and conditions, it's the mobility. Mobility is so important, and I'm talking about, you know, these 2 abilities coming out for the Revenant, which are so important, as well as that offhand axe as well, which can really close the gap. you know, you pretty much port to them if they're in the range. And there's just so much mobility. You've seen Curve. I've been on Curve in different points of the map and in this game and in the last game where mobility has been important and decisions. And those individual decisions of those Revenants are so key to how well these teams can not only win fights but rotate around the map and hold their caps. And unfortunately, you know, we've not been able to see that from Purple Noise, mainly because they haven't had the caps as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've not really been able to do all too much in this matchup. It has been pretty one-sided, I think it's fair to say. Vermilion have been looking on form. And I mean, coming into the Pro League, we expected Vermilion to be sort of top 4. We didn't expect them to just be dominant as they have been. I mean, Vermilion, they were 2-0 in 16 points or 14 points. They're going to be 3-0 across this season. Purple Noise, unfortunately, yet to get a win.